Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Bakakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, the great millstone, who teach and rule well. And peace, love, and salutations to the Akim that's out there laboring, that's the hopeful elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I pretty much want to land back on the brother from Arrows of Indignation. He puts up some really edifying clips, and pretty much I'm gonna put some precepts to a particular clip that he has put up, and the title is, and this is a response: study your enemy because he is definitely studying you. An in-depth look into Esau Edom, and pretty much this clip is pretty much going into a CIA whistleblower, and he speaks about the atrocities and death, trails of death that he has committed, throughout the earth. And I'm talking about these secret operatives, okay, that are pretty much work on a global scale, and pretty much take the country's resources and exploit the people, and we're pretty much going to get more in depth of exactly what is being done. But we have to also understand that this man, Esau Edom, has the records. They know who you are, pretty much, and the fact that a lot of these places that he has pillaged and pretty much unalived, okay, are pretty much Christian nations, so to speak. And we have to understand that we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and the war and assault has been on Jacob, okay, and pretty much they go into that, and I'm pretty much I didn't really decide if I'm gonna pretty much stop the video or do out or let it play, but probably pretty much just gonna go with the spirit. But pretty much the scriptures speak about his own tongue falling upon himself, okay, and this pretty much this whistleblower that's going to be speaking on this particular video, he was pretty much unalived this year, in fact, okay. So a lot of people are pretty much being unalive for speaking truth. You see, a lot of whistleblowers are being pretty much silenced, so to speak. But without any further ado, okay, this is an example of their own tongue falling upon themselves. So let's play this clip.
We've set out to overthrow functioning constitutional democracies in over 20 countries. We manipulated elections in dozens of countries. We created standing armies and directed them to fight. We went after ethnic minorities to encourage them to revolt. The first thing we did in Nicaragua was to go to the Mosquito Indians, who had never gotten along with the other people in Nicaragua very well, and give them more money than they had seen in the entirety of history, and arms and training and rationales and sanctuaries in Honduras, and sent them into Nicaragua to attack, kill, fight, pillage. And this has been a technique the CIA has used in Nicaragua, in Thailand, in Vietnam, in Laos, in the Congo, in Iran, Iraq with the Kurds, in different parts of the world. We created, trained, and funded death squads like the Treasury Police in El Salvador that are responsible for as many as 70,000 people, according to the count of the Catholic Church. And we've assassinated world leaders. You can never be sure how many people are killed in the jungles of Laos or the hills of Nicaragua, but adding them up as best we can, we come up with a figure of 6 million people killed, minimum figure. It has to be more than that. 1 million in the Korean War, 2 million in the Vietnam War, 800,000 in Indonesia, a couple of million in Cambodia, 20.
And a lot of this really goes under the guise of ethnic cleansing, okay? They pretty much give their reasons for what they're doing, and he said that they go after ethnic minorities, okay? And, these are pretty much buzzwords, so to speak, aka Christians, aka the children of Israel, pretty much, the people that pretty much that are of the Lord, the Lord's people, and pretty much, man, these atrocities were in these areas where Jacob's trouble in itself, so to speak, okay, and pretty much this book, okay, that he has written, okay, In Search of Enemies, okay, all right, the CIA story by John Stockwell, okay, former chief CIA Angola task force, okay. Angola is pretty much a country that's in Africa, in the land of Ham, and pretty much our people are scattered throughout that region, okay. He mentioned Cambodia. He mentioned Laos, okay. Pretty much, I have a relative that pretty much married an individual from Laos, and trust me when I tell you, he's a Jake, okay. The way his mannerisms, the way he carried himself, even down to the way that he pretty much, dressed, so to speak, okay. And pretty much, man, our people are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. This man has the records, man, and he has seeked to pretty much destroy Jacob, man. Okay, this was his vow. Okay, all right. When we go back in Genesis, pretty much, okay. All right, this man is pretty much upset about the blessing being pretty much taken from him, so to speak. Okay, all right. But at the end of the day, this is all the Lord's plan. This man had no respect for the birthright, okay, and he looked at it as a significant thing that could not benefit him at the time of his not wanting to crave his appetite for wanting things in the now, so to speak. Okay, everything he wants right directly right there in front of him. Okay, all right, and didn't understand the order of being the firstborn and what was going to be given to him. You see, okay, he pretty much fumbled it. All right, but this is all of the Lord had planned. Okay, the Lord made two lumps. One lump of the honor and another lump of dishonor, all right? So pretty much I set it up to where, what this is, the gist of this whole lesson is about, but I want to hit some precepts and then I want to continue to play more of this video, okay? All right? Because the tongue is definitely falling upon these individuals, man, okay? All right, from there, let's go to, all right, let's start at Psalm 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, okay? Because the power is in his hands, okay? Speaking about Edom, okay? And his blessing, okay, was to have the sword, okay, and live by it, all right? And pretty much possess the fatness of the earth. And he has done that by the way of the sword, okay? All right? And his adversaries are plagued, okay, because of what he has set up in these places to undermine the people, okay, overthrow the governments, okay, all right, pretty much genocide the people, man. You see, okay, all right, ethnic cleansing, man. Okay, this has always been going on throughout the earth, man. And when you hear that term, that buzzword, that term, okay, best believe that they're Christians, man. Okay? It says, therefore pride compass him about as a chain. Violence cover them as a garment. Okay? And every way this man sets his foot, okay, death is soon to come. All right? You see? Verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish, Okay, these are the least the rich men of the earth, man. Okay, and that CIA pretty much is the central nervous system of information, man. Okay, and they pretty much carry out tasks to pretty much amass the earth into their hands, the resources, and also destroying the people. Okay, you see, the Lord put these curses upon his people, man. But a lot of our people, man, was set in fruitful places, so to speak, man. Okay, you see, but this man was destined to come and pillage these places, okay, and take the resources and put the people into captivity. You know, the ones that he did not pretty much unalive. You see, okay, it says they are corrupt. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, you know, okay? And even this damn devil that was speaking, you know, even though he's a whistleblower, you know, it was, you know, it came out effortlessly, you know? And he also had a hand in it, okay? See, okay? There's no telling how many bodies laid unalived at his hands, man, okay? Because he pretty much was part of the task force in Angola, man. Okay, and you know Angola, their natural resources are pretty much plentiful, man. Okay, you see, it says they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. You know, and then that democracy is pretty much what they stand on. You know, and they pretty much use that as a guise to go in and overthrow governments, man. Okay, same as saying that they're gonna, upheld, you know, in a democracy, so to speak. Okay, all right, and they come in and put in their laws and their pretty much their standard of living. Okay, all right, they're pretty much their philosophy, so to speak, man. Okay, and you have the governments that pretty much are in their pockets. Okay, the puppet governments pretty much assimilate into that westernized mindset, so to speak. Okay, you see, it says, therefore his people run thither, and the waters of a full cup are wrung out unto them. And they say, how doth God know? And is there any knowledge in the Most High? Okay, because this man thinks that he's done everything on his own accord, man, not knowing that he is pretty much a pawn in the whole grand scheme of things. Okay, the Lord has set this man up to put punishment upon the children of Israel. You see, okay, and he doesn't understand that, man. Okay, you know, it says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches, right? And they do have increase in riches, man. Okay, the power is in his hands to take whatever he wants from anybody, and dares anybody to say something about it. You see, okay, right? Pretty much that was the point right there. But I just want to pull that precept real quick though. But I want to get more into what this individual was speaking about. Okay, concerning the Central Intelligence Agency. Okay.
2,000 in Angola, the operation I was part of, 22,000 in Nicaragua. For other reasons, we don't do these things in England, France, Sweden, Norway, Belgium, Switzerland, etc. These things are all done in countries of the third world.
Right, and pretty much, man, those other countries were Edomite countries, man. Okay, and the EU and NATO, that's part of that beast system, man. Okay, you see? So he made it a point to pretty much tell you, okay, where they were pretty much, committing the heinous acts, man. You see? Okay?
Governments don't have the power to force the United States to stop destabilizing the country and brutalizing their people. Let me just put it this way. The best heads that I coordinate with studying this thing, we count at least minimum figure 6 million people who've been killed in this long 40-year war that we've waged against the people of the third world. These are not Soviets. We have not been parachuting teams into the Soviet Union to kill and hurt and maim people, especially not since 1954 when they developed actually a capability of dropping atomic weapons on the United States.
And pretty much, the nuclear weapon, all right, has been a deterrent, okay, for Edom to not invade or pretty much uproot governments in particular countries that have a nuclear weapon. Okay, that is the ultimate deterrent. Okay, all right, because they understand that the potency, okay, of that nuclear warhead and what damage it can do. Okay, And this is why, he pretty much stands down on countries that actually have it. You see? Okay?
With CIA, Marine Corps, 3 CIA secret wars. I had a position in the National Security Council in 1975 as the chief of the Angola task force running the secret war in Angola. It was the 3rd CIA secret war I was part of. The National Security law creating the National Security Council and the CIA, as you know, was passed in 1947. The CIA was given this charter to perform such other duties and function as might be necessary to the national security interests, and given a vague authority to protect its sources and methods. And I think it was in the mid-'80s that I coined this phrase, the Third World War, because in my research I realized that we were not attacking the Soviet Union and the CIA's activities. We were attacking people in the Third World. And I'm going to just quickly, in the interest of time, just give you a little sense of what that means, this Third World War. Basically, it's the third, I believe, in terms of loss of life and human destruction, the third bloodiest war in all of history. They undertake to run operations in every corner of the globe. They also undertook the license of operating just totally above and beyond U.S. laws. They had a license, if you will, to kill, but also they took that to a license to smuggle drugs, a license to do all kinds of things to other people in other societies in violation of international law, our law, and every...
Right. So this man has zero morals. Okay? You see? All right? Don't be deceived by this man. Okay? This man pretty much is the same man. Okay? The son of perdition, man. Okay? You see? All right? But people look at him as the people of light, so to speak, man. Okay? This man pretty much shaved the hair off his back and put on a Brooks Brothers suit. Okay? And pretty much goes around the earth and with a smile and said that he is doing no wickedness, man. Okay? When the wickedness is coming right up in his face. You see? Okay? All right? Real quick, let me get a scripture. We're gonna continue with that video, but let's get a scripture real quick. This is let's go to Lamentations real quick. All right? Lamentations chapter 4. Verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help, and our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Okay, and time and time again, man, you Israelites are getting undermined by this man. Okay, promising you hope, promising you stability, promising you equity. Okay, you see, all right, but the help is vain. Okay, and it's pretty much becoming more and more evident as this place pretty much the shadow sets on this place, man. Okay, you see, all right. And this is only the beginning, man. Okay? Here in Babylon, you're going to understand that the hunt is on, man. And you're the prey. You see? Verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. Our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. And they pursued us upon the mountains, and they laid wait for us in the wilderness. Okay, and this has happened throughout the four corners of the earth, and chiefly to the children of Israel, man. Okay, all right, and pretty much, man, we pretty much will look like all nations. Okay, because if you go back to the stock of Jacob, okay, you're of the Lord's. Okay, you're the Lord's people. You see, okay, and we're gonna look like those other nations. Okay. Where we were scattered. Okay? You see? It says, the breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. The Lord has done all this to our people, man. Okay, the Lord has put us in this predicament. Okay? Well, that's because we transgressed against him, man. Okay? You see? And time again, this is what we keep on saying. Okay? And pretty much the oppression is going to continue. Okay? Till you people get it through your thick skull, man. of how you are offending the Lord, man. Okay? You see? But it says, verse 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Okay? And this man is pretty much starting to sip of that cup, man. Okay? Because all of the what the Lord has done to his people, okay? The Lord said that he's going to pass the bottle, okay, to the daughter of Edom, okay, all right, the descendants, you see, all right, and he's gonna make himself naked, man, okay, and we're starting to see the power structure deteriorate right before our eyes in real time, you see, okay, you got people that don't have no type of integrity, okay, that's leading this place, you know, in a down a fiery pit, you know, in a handbasket, so to speak, man. Okay, you see, you got the whistleblowers that are coming out of the woodwork, okay, and pretty much, man, some of them I believe do the spirit, man, or Israelites, man, you know, but pretty much, you know, we're gonna have the ones that are of their own, that their tongue falls upon themselves, man, you know. But the scripture says that all that see them shall flee away. Okay? People are not wanting to no longer be assimilated with this man and his power structure. They don't want to be assimilated with this man and his culture. They don't want to be assimilated with this man and his ideology, man. Okay? You see? They understand that this recipe is leading to a recipe of disaster. And the nations are despising this man's ways, man. Okay? You see? It says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And this is what we see on display right now in real time, man. Okay? You see? There's no more, theories, okay? All right? Of what's going on. Okay, we got actual people that are speaking upon these things, these atrocities in depth, man. Okay, you see, so there's no argument on the wicked, man, in their deeds, man. Okay, it's becoming more and more evident of who the wicked is, man. Okay, you see, right? Let's continue.
The principle of nations working together for a healthier and more peaceful world. Meanwhile, again, they battled to convert the U.S. legal system in such a way that it would give them control of our society. Now, we have massive documentation of what they call the secret wars of the CIA. We don't have to guess or speculate. We had the Church Committee investigate them in 1975, gave us our first really in-depth, powerful look inside this structure. Senator Church said in the 14 years before he did his investigation that he found they had run 900 major operations and 3,000 minor operations. And if you extrapolate that over the whole period of the 40-odd years that we've had a CIA, you come up with 3,000 major operations and over 10,000 minor operations. Every one of them illegal, every one of them disruptive of the lives and societies of other peoples, and many of them bloody and gory beyond comprehension almost. Extensively, we manipulated and organized the overthrow of functioning constitutional democracies in other countries. We organized secret armies and directed them to fight in just about every continent in the world. We encouraged...
And this is where you see a lot of the infighting in a lot of these countries, man. Okay? This man pretty much gives them the weapons, okay? All right? He creates oppositions within that country, man. Okay? All right? Which is called controlled oppositions. You see? Okay? And pretty much, man, they use these tactics, man, to pretty much get out any leader that's not pretty much going according to how they want things to be run, man. Okay? And that's pretty much submitting to them and submitting and pretty much giving them free reign of their resources, man. Okay? So once a leader gets cute, you know, and pretty much wants to help the people, okay? All right? According to them, he got to go. Okay? According to their protocol, okay? They have to get him out of there, man. Okay? So they send the economic hitman. They send the jackals in there. and pretty much to do the bidding of the elites, man. Okay, so this has been going on for decades now, man. You see, okay, and this man is pretty much giving you the receipts on it, man. You see, okay. Let's get a scripture real quick. Let's go to Psalms, right? Psalms chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken into the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and bless the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth, man. Okay? Because this is a covetous man. Okay? You see? He gets wind of resources being in certain areas, and he wants to claim it as his, man. Okay? And he understands this blessing of the sword, and he knows that there's nobody to stop him. Okay? You see? All right? His job is really to undermine the people, man. Okay? You see? It says, the wicked through his pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. You know, this man has been pumped up to think that he is the Most High, man. Okay? All right? You know, everything that he has wanted to do of his heart's desire, he has accomplished. He has been accomplished, and he's still going to accomplish. He wants to accomplish greater things. Okay? You see? All right? Even when we're speaking about the MOTB, man, which is in the plans, man. Okay? Because truth be told, this man's about to pull the plug on this old way economic society, man. Okay? And it's going to be a new way of doing things, man. Okay? This is the plans that he wants to do. You see? It says, right? His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. And as for his enemies, he puffeth at them. Okay? And that's what he does. He puffs at his enemies, man. You know? Because he knows that they cannot stand a chance to come up against them, man. Okay? You see? All right? When you speak about conventional warfare, okay, this is the most powerful country in the world, man. Okay? And who's really going to stand up against them, man? You see? Okay? But this man's ways is always grievous to the people, man. Okay? You see? It says, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, and under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And it pretty much sums up his ways right there, in that verse right there, man. Okay? You see? This man is full of vengeance, man. Okay? All right? He's still pretty much, man, salty because of that birthright, man. And it's a spiritual thing. You know? When you ask them, the most Edomites cannot put their finger on it, man. Okay? The only ones that have the finger on knowing what's really going on is those top elites, man. Okay? They have the records, man. They understand the pretty much what their forefather has done, man. Okay? You understand that, man? Okay? You see? And it's a spiritual warfare that's being carried out. And he's carrying it out, you know, physically, man. You see? Okay? You know? And that's pretty much, that's in their blood. The scriptures say, man, blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, man. Okay, since you has not hated to shed blood, blood is going to pursue you. You see? Okay? You know? Right? It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. Right? This is what they do. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Okay? And this is what he does, man. This is why they always emphasize third world countries, man. Okay? All right? These countries have a so-called below standard of living, man. Okay? But they're rich in resources, man. Okay? And that's what the part of it that gets exploited, man. Okay? And pretty much, man, they have to pretty much kill millions of people, man. Okay? To pretty much get their way, so to speak, man. Okay? You see? All right? And not only that, though, this man does it for sport. Okay? This man does it because why? It's because he understands who those people are, where he's going. Okay? These certain places that are targeted. Okay? Okay, these places are in the four corners of the earth, but they are carefully and craftily targeted. Okay, all right, because this man has the records, man. Okay, you see, all right, he's able to amass the riches of the place and pretty much ethnic cleanse at the same time, man. Okay, you see, so pretty much, he's killing two birds with one stone, so to speak, man. Okay, all right, it says he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draw him into his net. Okay, and this man has all kinds of different tactics for any type of situation that he may encounter dealing with these third world leaders. Okay, some of them may get on board right away. Okay, some of them are pretty much will hold up some type of resistance. Okay, ones that are pretty much harder to get, he'll set up another faction group within the country and arm them and pretty much fund them to try to overthrow the government, man. You see? Okay? It says, he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones, man. Okay? Yeah, because he comes in and sometimes, the situation he may come in there crouching and humbling himself, come in with a smile, okay? With that same Brooks Brothers suit on, okay? But what? He has that bloody dagger, okay, behind his back, okay? And this is where you see, when you look on the U.S. dollar, okay, all right, you see the olive branch, and then you also see the sword, okay? You see? All right? He comes as your friend, but his whole intention is to undermine you, okay? All right? He has said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. So why would he say that? So you see the verse here, that the poor may fall by his strong ones, man. The poor is the children of Israel, man. Okay? And in the next verse it says, he said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. Have forgotten what? Have forgotten his covenant with his people. The Lord has turned his back on us. The Lord said that I will return to my place until they acknowledge their offense. Okay? Okay? And it says, man, when the time comes, man, they shall seek me early. You see? Okay? It says, he hideth his face. Talking about the Most High. He will never see it. Right? Okay? You see? So this pretty much ties in, goes hand in hand exactly of what this man knows and what he has the records of, man. Okay? All right? We're talking about the Central Intelligence Agency, man. Okay? You see? They have documents upon documents, man. Okay? All right? A lot of the information is not, available to the public, man. Okay? All right? You see? All right? It says, arise, O Yahweh, O power. Lift up thy hand. Forget not the humble. You see? Okay? But pretty much, man, this man's head that, man, the Most High have forgotten. He have hidden his face. He will never see it. You see? Okay? All right? Right? Let's get a little bit more of that video, man. Let's speak about this man's sins, man.
Minorities to rise up and fight. People like the Mosquito Indians in Nicaragua, the Kurds in the Middle East, the Monks in Southeast Asia. We have organized, and we still do, and fund death squads in countries around the world, like the Treasury Police in El Salvador, which are responsible for most of the killing of the 50,000 people just in the 80s, and there was 70,000 before that. And orchestration, CIA, secret teams, and propaganda led us directly into the Korean War. We were attacking China from the islands, Quemoy, Matsu, Thailand, Tibet. A lot of drug trafficking involved in this, by the way, until eventually we convinced ourselves to fight the Chinese in Korea. And we had the Korean War, and 1 million people were killed. Same thing for the Vietnam War, and we have extensive documentation of how the CIA was involved at every level, or the national security complex, because it's a very cooperative thing, into manipulating the nation into the Vietnam War. And we wound up creating the Golden Triangle, in which the CIA, Air America airplanes were flying in arms to our allies and flying back out with heroin. We launched the largest, this is something that Jimmy Carter did, Admiral Turner brags about it, the operation in Afghanistan. Biggest single operation, I'm told, in the history of the CIA's secret wars. And sure enough, very quickly we produced the Golden Crescent, which is still the largest source of heroin perhaps in the world today. Trying to summarize this third world war that the CIA, the U.S. national security complex with the military all interwoven in it in many different...
All interwoven together, man. Okay? All right? Okay? So it's not just them, it's these other agencies, man, that are intertwined together, okay? Sharing intelligence and sharing, pretty much strategies and game plans, okay? To continue the terror on the world, man. Okay? You see? All right? Let's get another scripture from there, okay? Real quick, let's get Psalm 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, man. And this is the workers of iniquity, man. Okay, and you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. You see? Okay? All right, this is a perfect example of what this is speaking about, man. Okay? It's no more somebody just talking in some type of conspiracy, man. Okay? You see? Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who's the perfect? Okay? All right? The people who the Lord has a covenant with, man. Okay? Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not, man. They shoot at him and they're not fearing what the Lord is doing, because they feel like the Lord has forgotten. They feel like the Lord has hidden his face. You see? Right? Okay? And all of these think tanks and round tables are behind closed doors and meetings. Okay? Verse 5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. Okay? They commune of laying snares privately, saying, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. You see? Okay? They search out these more iniquities of ways to commit iniquities, man. Okay? This man, just speak about this man not getting any sleep until he have done some wickedness, man. You see? Okay? But it says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. Okay? And that arrow is coming, man. Okay? All right? I.e. the ICBMs, man. Okay? So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Okay? And people are pretty much fleeing away from this man's philosophies, man. Okay? People are pretty much waking up to the common denominator of what's causing the wreaking of havoc in the earth, man. Okay? All right? Because through his propaganda machine, okay, he'll have you think that these people are just fighting amongst each other, man. When people don't even know, which we know now, that he has a hand in it, man. Okay, so he's pretty much the man that's pretty much funding the terror, man. Okay, you see? All right, let's get a little bit more.
Ways has been waging, let me just put it this way, the best heads that I coordinate with studying this thing, we count at least minimum figure 6 million people who've been killed in this long 40-year war that we've waged against the people of the third world. These are not Soviets. We have not been parachuting teams into the Soviet Union to kill and hurt and maim people, especially not since 1954, when they developed actually a capability of dropping atomic weapons on the United States. They aren't British, French, Swedes, Swiss, Belgians. We don't do bloody, gory operations.
Those are that's the EU. Okay, all right. The vassals. Okay, the vassal states. okay, NATO, all right? You see? All right? They're pretty much all on one accord because why? It's because a lot of these nations, they benefit off of these atrocities as well, okay? You know, when you look at the land of Ham, which is modern day so-called Africa, okay? Pretty much Africa is carved up amongst those EU nations, man. Okay? You got the Belgians, the Portuguese, okay? The French, you see? All right? All of them have pretty much colonized a handful of countries apiece, man. You see? Okay? And they are still being exploited to this day. You see? And this man said gory operations, man. You see?
In the countries of Europe. These are all people of the third world. They're people of countries like the Congo, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Nicaragua, where conspicuously they nor their governments do not have the capability of doing any physical hurt to the United States. They don't have ICBMs. They don't have armies or navies. They could not hurt us if they wanted to.
And the scriptures say that as for their enemies, they puff at them. Okay? You see? All right? They look at them as insignificant, that, okay, they're powerless, man. You see? Okay? Right? All right? Enough for him. Okay? All right? The point was made with what he's speaking about. All right? Let's get another scripture real quick. This is Isaiah. Okay? 33. All right? Verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt treacherously dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You see? Okay? O Yahweh, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou our arm every morning, our salvation also in a time of trouble. Okay? And pretty much, you know, we're going to lean on that, man. Okay? We're going to lean on the arm of the Lord, man. Okay? And that's called through faith. You see? Okay? But this man is going to be spoiled, man, when he ceases to spoil, man. Okay? You see? Because we're seeing now the stopgap, okay, of this man forwarding his dominance in the earth, man. Okay? The weak are saying that I'm strong. Okay? The nations are rising up to battle, man. Okay? This is all the will of the Lord at the end of the day, man. Okay? You have to understand that these wars needs to happen, man. Because the Lord said he's going to plead with them there, all right, for his people, Israel, man. You see? So we understand that these things are going to be done through the Spirit for our sakes, man. Okay? You see? He's going to sit there and judge them. Okay? So that region, okay, that the so-called Middle East, what you want to call it, okay, will be a ultimate suctioning hub, okay, to gather all nations there. You see? Okay? And this is just to go to show what you people, man, here, all right, pretty much, man, to wake the hell up, man. Okay? Let's get that scripture real quick. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. All right? 13. Let's see. May want to skim through this a little bit. Let's skim through it real quick. All right? This is Sirach chapter 13, verse 4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. You know? Okay? There's no need for you. He's going to throw you away. Okay? He has used people in the past, man. He has used governments. He has used groups of people, man. Okay? All right? just to be on for his cause, so to speak, man. Okay? If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it, man. Okay? Yeah, he's going to come up to you as your friend. You see? Okay? You see? It says, if he had need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Okay? And our people are still head on division over that deceivableness. Okay? Thinking that something's gonna happen, something's gonna go your way through the guise of voting. You know? You see? Okay? You know, when you want to sit here and point out the people, the left-right paradigm, and you know, the people, we just need to get this one out there and put this one in, and I'm gonna want to vote for him because he's like this. I'm gonna vote for this one. You know, when you go dealing with a system, okay, all right, you know, you're dealing with a system that's not going to change. Your situation is not going to change. Your personal situation is not going to change. Okay, okay. This man is tightening the vice on your head, man. You see, okay, and you people are like you know, frogs in a pot of slowly boiling water. Okay, all right. You see, it says, and he will shame thee by his meats until you have drawn thee twice, yet thrice, and at the last he will laugh to the scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Okay, you see, all right. So he would be someone that would be there in a time of adversity, but he would be undermining you, okay? And once he pretty much gets what he wants and pretty much pillages you, okay, he will laugh you to scorn, man. Okay? You see? All right? You'll be the butt of the jokes. You see? Okay? Right? It says, let me skip down a little bit. I'm going to get the point here. All right? This is the point right here. Verse 13. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in the peril of thy overthrowing. And when thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Okay? And that's the point right there. All right? When you hear these things, okay? These are not rumors. These are not theories, what you people used to want to say. But there's actually a witch hunt against you people, man. Okay? All right? But it says, when you hear these things, awake in thy sleep. You see that? Okay? Because you're truly walking in the peril of your overthrowing, man. Okay? You see? All right? This man is going to he has one last hurrah left. Okay? And that's going to be Jacob's trouble here. It's going to be all around the world, but chiefly here in Babylon, man. Okay? That's coming, man. Okay? All right? And, you know, all the talking crap, talking junk, you know, all that's going to end with you people, man. You scoffers and, you know, okay? All right? The Lord is going to set forth judgment, man. You see? Okay? And you people pretty much are you know, don't have that thawat, that mark, man. Okay, to be exempt from the perils that are gonna be coming here, man. Okay, you see. But you know, that's pretty much the end of the lesson, you know. But hey, you know, okay, this individual here, you know, pretty much has spilled the beans, man. Okay, and pretty much, man, this individual is no longer here, you know. We don't want to get into that, but you know what happens when you know, Esau, you know, he applies the same you know sayings that Jake says, you know, snitches get stitches, so to speak, man. You know, I'll leave it at that, you know. Okay, but yeah, this man pretty much got up here on his on the podium, okay, and exposed the things that are going on, man. Okay, and it's really geared towards you so-called Christians, so to speak, man. Okay, you see, all right. The Lord has set you people in places, man, where these resources are run abundant, okay? And you are pretty much have been visited by this man, okay? So all the tribes, man, have been touched at one point or the other, man, by the hands of this damn man, man. You know, okay? And pretty much it's not over with, man. Okay? This man is getting ready for that great curtain call, so to speak, man. Okay? All right? Before the bottom falls out of this man's kingdom. All right? So with that, I'm going to end it there. And I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.